hello to my lovely subscribers and anyone else who might have stumbled across my channel. This is what I wore last week, perfume wise, and starting off with this fabulous and very affordable perfume from Lanvin called Jeanne. It has this really cute kind of bit of ribbon that they cut off and put on the front, so it's not a regular label, it's literally ribbon. This kind of spins around, which is super annoying. But it's got the Lanvin logo on the top, if you can see it without all the reflection. So this is a beautiful, very musky raspberry blackberry freesia perfume. It's gloriously fruity, but it's not shampooey. It's really kind of smooth. It's closer to smelling a bit like a bar soap, which is my favorite kind of soapy smell, you know. The notes in this one, let's have a look. Top notes, blackberry, pear and lemon. Middle notes, raspberry, peony, rose and freesia. Base notes, musk, sandalwood and amber. It's just so easy to wear, this one, and it's quite... I find that it lasts for an incredibly long time, especially if you get it if it hits my hair and clothes, I will be able to smell it when I go to bed, even if I put it on at 8 o'clock in the morning. On the skin, it doesn't last that long, maybe like 6 hours, and it's pretty much a skin scent the whole way through. This is, I think, if you like raspberry, but you don't like things that are too screechy or sharp, if you just like you'd have to like musk as well. You have to like a kind of bar soapy musk. This is one of the safest blind buys, I think, in my collection. It's just so yummy, easy to wear. I've actually worn it quite a few times. I barely made a dent. Oh. Yeah, it's fresh, it's juicy. You can really smell the raspberry in this. It's probably a mixture of blackberry and raspberry, but I think I just know the smell of raspberry much better, you know. So it's absolutely delicious. I did forget to mention, what has the temperature been like? It's been kind of humid because it's been very grey. It's still been quite warm in the UK, but it's like London has just been grey. It's been really hot or really rainy, and it's just, yeah, the humidity's been crazy. Even today it's been grey and miserable all morning. It's still very overcast, but it's suddenly become like super hot. So yeah, it's been weird weather. And that will become obvious when I talk to you about this one, because I do love this perfume. I haven't even had it for that long, but I've got kind of obsessed with it. And I've been wearing it quite regularly. So this is one, I mean, it's quite small, but I think I'm nearly halfway through this already. I'm not even sure if you can see because it's quite a dark glass. This is Bruno Banani, and this is Woman's Best. So it's always just so hard not to get a reflection on it because of the shape. Let me just put it like that. So this one, I have to say, I've said it before, it's only worth wearing this in warm weather because it's too much of a skin scent. In cold weather, I think, I can barely smell it. When I first got it, it was just so light I could hardly smell it. And then I started wearing it in warmer weather and it was amazing. However, I found this a bit cloying on the day that I wore it, and it was incredibly humid on that day. It was one of those weird hot days where it just kept raining, and then we'd have massive bursts of sunshine, and then like an hour later it would be absolutely coming down again. And it brought out the kind of sickly sweetness in this more than I normally get on my skin. So I'm like, okay, just don't wear it when it's like really rainy or really humid, and then it'll be fine. Because it's not like I hated it, I just didn't like it as much as normal. So the notes in this one are top notes of peach, orange and pink grapefruit. Middle notes are sorbet, pear, rose and pomegranate blossom. Base notes panna cotta, wild berries and sandalwood. The wild berries I get here are blueberry mainly. I get the pear, I get the sorbet, I get the rose and the panna cotta. This one, I mean, you do get a bit of that orange and peach, which gives it a very slight kind of sweet citrusy vibe, but it's not too sweet, but it's not too sharp. It's quite creamy, but it's very fruity, and you get way more of those kind of juicy sorbet fruits in hot weather. This is the one that I think smells like the love child of Cacharel's and More and Signorina by Salvatore Ferragamo, but without the patchouli that ruins both of those perfumes for me. So this is like a really lightweight version of those. But yeah, I mean, I'll pull it out again, I'm sure, because I've worn it loads and I've never kind of found it sickly sweet before. So then we have, so pretty. Like I said, it's time of year, perfect time of year for all my Aqua Colonias. This one is Pomegranate and Eucalyptus. They actually have notes for this perfume, unlike a lot of the other Aqua Colonias where they only give you the 2 that's in the name. So this is top notes of pomegranate, middle notes of violet leaf and eucalyptus, base notes of musk and woodsy notes. I get pomegranate. I don't think I'd have guessed there was, would I have guessed there was violet in this? You get a little bit of eucalyptus. It's quite a syrupy pomegranate, like a nice berry smell. Would I have guessed violet leaf? I'm not sure I would have guessed violet leaf, but it's quite musky in a way that I really enjoy. And I wore this and my husband told me that I smelt lovely, so he likes this one as well. But he does love a fruity musk. He does tend to like a fruity musk. So it's just a beautiful one. If you can get, I mean, it was a limited edition, so it's kind of hard to find, but if you see it anywhere for like, I reckon 20 quid or less, and it's totally worth having it. I think if it, like someone's selling it for like 40 something quid, I'm like, I do really like it, but yeah, if it's a 50ml and they're trying to charge loads for it, then there's probably better things. Okay, beautiful though. Oh, I think I've got more space up here than I had initially expected, so I can spread them out a little bit. And then the other Aqua Colonia I wore is one that does only list the 2 notes. So I tried wearing this one at home because this is the one, because it's pomelo and sea salt. So because it's quite salty, I wanted to wear it at home. I wore it on a day where it wasn't massively hot, and I think that actually this, like the other one that came out last year at the same time, coconut and yuzu, I think they're both much better in very high heat. Like, I think this smells a little bit sharper and incredibly salty when you first spray it, and then very quickly that pomelo starts to warm up and smell a bit sweeter. It almost smells like there's another fruit in here, maybe something like peach or something, that gives it a slightly less grapefruity and slightly more syrupy, but it's not like super sweet or anything. It's just nowhere near as sharp as you would get if it was just pomelo without anything to sweeten it up. So, and then it is salty, but it kind of smells like skin if you've been sitting next to the seaside and you know you've not been in the sea, but you've just had a bit of sea spray. So it's definitely salty. It's definitely got a little bit of the sharp grapefruit, but it's not actually that sharp as soon as, like, after like a couple of minutes when it's dried down. I do think it's really nice. It's staying in my collection, but definitely I think this is a very high heat one for me. It's pretty though. Oh, everything suddenly got very dark. Oh no. There we go. Cheeky. Okay. Let's see what's next on the agenda. Oh yeah. Oh, and I pulled out the body spray because the body spray is what I wore this week. This is Born Lovely by Sarah Jessica Parker. I have the perfume of this as well, and I adore that bottle. It's beautiful. I've got the 100ml. I just think that the body spray, it's because I put it on in the morning and I wanted to go ham, and I wanted to spray it all over my clothes and stuff as well, because I wanted to smell super fresh, but I hadn't had time to get in the shower yet. I actually think the body spray, I mean, it's obviously not quite as strong as the perfume, but it's so good. Like, this is an exceptionally good body spray. It kind of makes me wonder what her other body sprays are like. This is like the Born Lovely perfume, but if anything, it's slightly less woody than the actual perfume. So, I mean, I'm not going to say I love it more, but I think it's really good. I just love Born Lovely. Born Lovely is basically a beautiful, fresh, kind of just got out of the shower kind of smell that you can put on when you have not had a shower. It's genius. I've actually worn a few freshies this week, to be honest. So the notes in this one are peony, cassis and mandarin orange. That's the top. The middle notes are freesia, orange blossom and honeysuckle. Base notes, cedar, patchouli and caramel. You wouldn't know it was caramel. Just gives it a sweetness. I really don't get much patchouli in this. If I'd have smelt it, I wouldn't have guessed. What I mainly get is like a really watery but quite sweet blackcurrant. a lot of peony, but not screechy. And I'm really fussy. I very rarely like peony perfumes because I do find them quite sharp normally and a bit screechy. And then you've just got this beautiful kind of sweetness that's kind of an unexplained sweetness, but doesn't actually smell like caramel. It's just sweetened up that flower and blackcurrant. It's just so, but it also kind of smells like fresh laundry. I mean, it's just amazing. I assume that's from the combination of the freesia and the orange blossom. But maybe the honeysuckle is making it sweeter as well. But I do find orange blossom can be very kind of soapy. But because everything else in this is so fresh, it just smells like, if you were going to say it was soapy, but you'd say like it was fresh laundry, still damp, just taken out of the washing machine, you know. Oh gosh, absolutely love that perfume. Oh yeah. I've still like not really got much of a dent in this one because I reckon I think I've probably had at least 3 or 4 bottles of green tea by Elizabeth Arden, and I have a small 30ml that I take with me to work. So what I'll do is I'll put this one on in the morning and then I take the little one with me. Oh, I just love it. I don't really need to talk about it. Everyone knows about green tea. I just happen to think that it's an exceptionally good perfume. It's a Francis Kirk de Jean before he got super like mega expensive. A young genius, as it were. So I just think it's delicious. It's got a ton of notes because it's from the 90s. So, which also I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, Francis Kirk de Jean must be a much older gentleman than I had initially realised. So top notes, lemon, bergamot, mint, orange peel and rhubarb. Middle notes, jasmine, oak moss, fennel, musk, carnation and white amber. Base notes, green tea, jasmine, oak moss, musk, celery seeds, caraway, cloves and amber. It's green, it's fresh, it's extremely tea-like. It's got a slight floralness, but could you guess? It's got citrusiness, but it's not too sharp. Heaven, always smell like I've been to a spa. I just love green tea. And I think, weirdly, it's just one of those perfumes that I don't understand when people don't like it. And I was talking to someone in my comments about indie actually, but I feel the same way about green tea, that I think the thing is it's so comfortable to wear it. It feels so pretty and kind of, like I said, like spa-like or fresh out of the shower. People say it doesn't last, but I kind of feel like people just go anosmic to it because, again, like it's how I feel about indie. Like it's so comfortable as a perfume, and that's how I feel about this, that I kind of think I need to reapply it, but then I'll like sniff myself and I'll be like, oh no, I can definitely still smell it. I just get so used to it, and it's just, I just love it. I've literally had bees following me when I've been wearing this because it's so beautiful. That happened to me again the other day, but I can't remember what I was wearing. I think I forgot to mention it. Anyway, it wasn't this week. Let's see. Yeah. So I was in the mood for this one. But I have to say, even though this is Be Happy from Oriflame from the Feel Good collection, I think this is a perfume. I'm just realising, that I don't really need this. Let me just get that out of the way. So this is a perfume that I think is really well suited to pretty much any time of the year because it is so juicy, so fruity. But because there's turmeric in it, and because it has that kind of dry powderiness that you get with turmeric, I kind of prefer this in autumn. I still liked wearing it. It wasn't uncomfortable. I just thought to myself, I just kind of want to save this for like autumn weather. Notes here, top notes, blood orange, bergamot and blackcurrant, and you can smell all of those, but I get blood orange the most. I do love blackcurrant though. It's one of my absolute favourite notes of all time. Middle notes, turmeric, magnolia and peony. I don't get loads of florals here, but the turmeric is quite strong. Sandalwood, musk and vanilla, and the sandalwood is quite strong as well. And it's a really powdery sandalwood, goes really nicely with that turmeric. It's musky. It's longer lasting at this time of year, but just because of the vibe of the kind of blood orange and turmeric and sandalwood, I just kind of really dig in it at a different time of year. So autumn, winter, I do kind of love it. So that's that one. Oh, gosh, I love this perfume. This one briefly was a signature scent of mine, and it's so delicious. You know what it is? I think it's my favourite rose. It's a fruity rose. But I think it is my favourite rose perfume. But so many of my other rose perfumes, I'm like, yeah, it's all right. Kind of like it. It's quite nice. This one I just adore, and it's because it's so fruity. It's, again, raspberry. I do tend to think of it as like, and this is the stupid thing, there isn't actually raspberry in this, but I always thought this smelled like raspberry and rose. It smells like what are they called? The pink jelly babies. It smells like raspberry jelly babies. It's just yummy. But the notes are all over the place. So the notes are top notes. Oh, I haven't told you what this is called, and I need to tell you what it's called. It's important. This is Jean-Charles Brosseau, and this is Fleurs d'Ombré Rose. It's not Ombré Rose. That's a totally different perfume. That's a really classic rose perfume. This is much more modern, youthful, juicy, light, pretty, and it's Fleurs d'Ombré Rose. The original Ombré Rose has kind of more of a nude pink colour to it, and this one is like a bright, girly Barbie pink. And to be honest, if I ever do actually get around to doing a Barbie perfume thingy, this would be in it. This is one of my Barbie perfumes. Top notes: rhubarb, tangerine, apple, melon, grapefruit, orange, blackcurrant and bergamot. Told you it was fruity. Middle notes: rose, peach, mango, freesia, jasmine. Base notes: orris root, musk, vetiver, sandalwood and amber. Now, freesia is one of my favourites. I think the mixture of freesia with rose is so beautiful. There is something about the way these fruits combine that I just genuinely think smells like raspberries. There's someone outside doing something. It really keeps distracting me. I'm trying to keep my brain in gear, but it's very loud. It's like they're building something in the garden. So the votes on this have rose at the top, followed by peach. And I do get a bit of peach, but it's not the kind of peach that freaks me out. And I do get a bit freaked out by peach sometimes. So peach. And then it's got the mango and the rhubarb. Then it's got orris root, so it's kind of irisy. And then freesia. But the main notes and votes are the rhubarb, the peach and the rose. I would bring the blackcurrant way higher up because I think that's what's giving it a kind of raspberry vibe. But I can definitely sense a little bit of that mango, more so I think than the rhubarb. Yeah, I think maybe it's got a little bit more. It's very fruity, but it's very pretty. I just really like it. So if I'm ever like, and I will at some point, if I really need to save a bit of space or I need to downsize a little bit and I get rid of my rose perfumes, this will be one of my last standing roses, like easily. So let's see. Oh yeah, I decided to test this one out this week. And what I thought when I initially talked about this in my little haul, this is Miller Harris Dance Amongst the Lace. I did say it's just ever so, it's supposed to be unisex, but it's just ever so slightly leaning a bit masculine for me. So although when it's on my skin and it starts to warm up, I definitely start to like it more, but I don't love it. The more I get the fennel coming through, the more it starts to, well, and the other notes, you'll see, like basically when all the base notes really start to come through here, it starts to smell a little bit too masculine for me to enjoy it. So I think there's no point in me keeping this because Miller Harris perfumes are expensive. I'd rather pass this on for like super cheap to someone who really loves Miller Harris and would like this. So, okay, the notes. Top notes: lemon verbena, lime, mint, red berries and cardamom. And I really love the lime and the mint in this. I really, really do. Middle notes: bourbon geranium. Don't like geranium. Bergamot, blackcurrant. Oh, I love blackcurrant. Fennel and angelica. So I do have other perfumes with fennel in, but this one really comes out very strongly on my skin. Like super, super strong fennel. Then base notes: vetiver, musk, moss, myrrh and sandalwood. So all of those really start to come through along with the fennel, and they get really, 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 really strong on my skin. So, you know, there is fennel in green tea, and I think it's really nicely blended. It doesn't come out too strong. I just think it gives this just a lovely vibe to it, because I do find like fennel, because it's like slightly aniseedy, gives a beautiful warmth, and against the mint, which is very cool, and the lime, which is obviously very tart, it's beautiful. It's a lovely perfume. I just think I'd prefer it on other people compared to wearing it myself. Honestly, my skin is just japesing when it comes to the actual the fennel in that. It's like, let's just make that the strongest thing. So I also decided to give this another go, because I still haven't really found a really good banana. So I was going through a box of things that I'm selling, and let me just move that over here. And this is Demeter, this is Banana Flambé, and this is the perfume oil. So Banana Flambé, I got this ages ago, and I did do a little separate review of it, but I don't know whether you would have seen it on one of my What I Wore Last Week videos. So if you haven't been with me for a long time and you didn't watch that particular haul, you might not have seen this one. So Banana Flambé, I was mega excited because this is what it says in the notes. Banana, cognac, sugar. Now, if you add in like maybe a slosh of cream, that is my feelings that, yeah, that's Banana Flambé. It's delicious banana with sugar, cooked in brandy or cognac, or, you know, whatever you want to call it. And then often served with some cream, right? But this has a real strong biscuit note in it. It really smells like a biscuit. It doesn't smell like Banana Flambé to me at all. What it smells like is a banoffee pie. It would be like a kind of light caramel, but it's got that slight caramelized sugar smell, as it would if you cook it up with cognac. It's not massively alcoholic, but it's kind of syrupy. It definitely smells creamy. There's a beautiful banana note in it, but there is a very strong biscuit base going on here. So when I first got it, I was like, no, I can't deal with biscuit notes. I still don't like biscuit notes. But I wanted to try this again in warmer weather, because I got it when it was cold and it lasted for like 2 seconds. So basically it was really biscuity. And then I got this gorgeous banana coming through, and then it was sweet, and then it was gone. I've tried it now and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to keep this. Reason being, the biscuitiness, because I've got some other Demeters that have that biscuity note, and I've got a couple of things now that I really like that have a little tiny bit of that biscuit vibe that then kind of dissipates. I'm a little bit more used to just dealing with it for the couple of minutes where it's quite strong, and then the fragrance changes and I get more banana, and it lasted longer this time, and I kept that banana smell for longer. So I cannot find decent banana perfumes. Like, none of them are actually very good. Even expensive ones that I've gone and sniffed, they're still not really banana. They're always taken over by something else, or they smell really synthetic, or they have that tar smell in them. So I have a couple of things that have banana in, but they're not like the main dominant note. So for instance, I have the La Rive perfume that's a dupe of Rocking Rio, Love Dance, that one's called. Has a lovely banana note in it, but it's also very kind of tropical fruity, like tangy. So I thought, ooh, I might try putting this on underneath that to bring out the banana. And I feel the same about maybe, it might be taking it too far, but I have Rochard Modern Muse, and that has banana leaf in it, but it gives it it smells like a banana bar soap, that perfume. So I don't know whether putting something this gourmand on it would like make it sickly or weird, but I might try it just to see whether it really makes it even more banana-y. Because yeah, I mean, and also if any of you have tried a really good banana that like people might not know about, then let me know. But yeah, tell me what you think, if there's anything you know of. Then okay, I tried this one. I'm slightly broken-hearted about this because I love this on card. I still haven't put up my thing yet, but I will. I've recorded the review of this. I just need to make sure I've finished editing it properly. But yeah, so this is another and perfume, the Simon Constantine thing. I only wore this a little bit, like on my wrist. I didn't put it on my neck. This is Bårk. This is one of the ones that I absolutely loved when I tried it. I'm just trying to find somewhere. Let me just try and make a little bit of space for this bad boy. I might actually put it All right, Bårk. So this was one of my faves when I was trying the little sample pack, because this is a mango perfume, but it's a weird mango perfume. So the notes in Bårk are mango, Brazilian rosewood, fir, cannabis and cedar. Now I was sure I wouldn't like this one, but mango is definitely the dominant note here. When you first spray it, yeah, crazy fir, weird smoky cannabis, quite unusual, quite woody, and then it dries down and the main notes to me are the mango, Brazilian rosewood, and then just like this slight kind of herbaceous greenness, you know. Super pretty. Love the mango note in this. Tried it on my skin and it just smelled a bit like pea. And it's the second time I've tried this one. This one, like the first time, I was like, oh, maybe it's just what's going on that particular day, or maybe I've got too many things on, or it's like the first few sprays of this. So I properly sprayed it on my arms and my wrists. And then, yeah, no, it just takes on, it just starts to smell a bit like pea on me, and it doesn't smell like that at all on card or from the bottle. Yeah, so this is a skin chemistry thing. Sadly, it doesn't work for me, which does make me sad because it's really cool. And look, that is the bottle for Bårk. Super cool. So anyway, yeah, sadly, that's not one. I haven't spent all my money yet because I've been trying not to buy loads of perfumes this month. You might have seen like some stuff I got if I put up shorts, but some of those I've had for a little while. And I haven't ordered any for a little while now because I've got so many to wear. But I really do want the And perfumes. I really want a little bottle of Frank, and I really want a little bottle of Far. So, but yeah, Bårk is not going to be on my list for a full bottle because it just does not smell good on me. Okay. So everyone's already talking about this one, but when I saw the notes of Burberry Goddess, I was like, I want to know what this one smells like. I have, how many Burberry perfumes do I have? I have a miniature of Body Tender. I have Burberry Brit, which I absolutely love. And I have Burberry Brit Rhythm for her. Those are my only Burberries. I think those are my only Burberries. But I wanted to get my bum in to smell this because the notes on Fragrantica, and they do not, and it's weird actually, I've seen a few people talk about this, and I did check on the press release just to make sure that Fragrantica had this right, because people have been talking about this, and even when I went to smell it in Selfridges, and it was an exclusive at Selfridges, so there was like a whole wall of Goddess. The lady said, oh, there's only 4 notes. There's 3 types of vanilla and lavender, but they are missing out some really important bits, which I think are really obvious in this perfume and are probably what makes me actually like it. So here is something miraculous, guys. Not only is this a new perfume, if I can find somewhere to put it, that I like, but it's a vanilla perfume that I like. And I'm very surprised by this revelation. I'm very fussy about vanilla. I don't normally like vanilla. And I can't even remember, what was the last new released perfume that I actually liked? Do you know, genuinely, I can't think offhand. I can't think the last time I went into Selfridges and smelled something and went, oh yeah, if it wasn't for how ridiculously expensive this is, and it is ridiculously expensive, I would like to have a tiny bottle of this. That's how pretty it is. But it also doesn't necessarily smell how I was expecting. And I have smelt this before. And the weird thing is, I've been racking my brains. I've been checking my perfumes I've had, perfumes I've tested, all of that stuff. I cannot put my finger on what this smells like. But she sprayed quite a lot of it on my arm. First I got it on here and I needed to check there wasn't that tar smell in it. And actually, like, I can still smell it a bit on here. And I got this on, I'm recording this on Saturday evening, and I got this card sprayed. I think I went on Thursday after work. So like, I don't know, 5:30 on Thursday, and I can still smell it. It has a tiny bit of that slightly tar smell in the very deep dry down, but not enough that it bothers me. It's kind of like Ariana Grande levels of I can kind of smell it, but it's not terrible. The notes in Burberry Goddess, and again, I've seen people talking about this without reading this full set of notes. And so when they're describing it, I'm like, you're kind of missing out some really essential bits. This lists vanilla, lavender, cacao and ginger in the top. In the middle, vanilla caviar and base notes of vanilla absolute. So vanilla caviar is like some special, like patented, like new perfume ingredient, which is supposed to like be like, I think kind of warm and cozy and creamy and lactonic, and it is definitely. There smells like there's a fruit in this to me. When she first sprayed it, it really had a slightly fruity vibe about it. I need to kind of, what I really would like is to be able to get a carded sample of this. I haven't found any yet, so I mean, I might be that I have to walk through Selfridges again and hope it's not the same lady and just be like, can you just spray this all over me again, so I can like try and work out what it is. People are saying this smells like Burberry Brit, so I think there is a chance that it might be some kind of pear or something. But the ginger isn't spicy, but there's a syrupy, again, like a kind of sweet, syrupy freshness in this. It does not smell how I was expecting it. I don't think the lavender in this is particularly strong. So when people are comparing this to Montgalon, I get it. Like, I get that that's like a similar vibe, but the patchouli in that, it totally changes how that smells. And the lavender in it is way stronger, and it's not as feminine as Burberry Goddess. And then the other thing is, I mean, it does not smell like Libre. It really doesn't smell like Libre from YSL. Libre is like hardcore orange blossom. It's more lavendery. It's like, it's an absolute beast. Burberry Goddess is so soft, and like, I love the bottle. I mean, I think I know everyone watching this will have already seen this beautiful bottle. Gorgeous. It's so classic and classy. I think the lady that they've got doing it, who is the woman from Sex Education, I think she was in Barbie recently, she's absolutely Emma something. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. I watched their little promo vid, and I could not get over how much that woman running with, like, was it lions? It does not match how this perfume smells. This does not smell like a kind of warrior queen goddess. This smells like a soft goddess of love. That's what it smells like. I don't think this smells like a powerful perfume. Libre, a little bit more so. That smells like something a boss warrior would wear. This is so pretty and creamy and soft. It's like, it's a goddess lying in like silk sheets with a chiffon, you know, like the 4-poster beds, chiffon all round it, with someone like feeding her grapes and someone like rubbing her feet and getting a beautiful bath ready for her. That's what this made me feel like. There is a coziness in this. You can smell vanilla, but okay, I'm going to have to get into all the things now. So I was trying to think, racking my brains, what does this smell like? And I was trying to think of all the things that gave me the same kind of vibe, if they don't necessarily smell exactly like it. I do think that this has a little bit of a less lavendery vibe as REM by Ariana Grande. Now, obviously, that isn't like a vanilla-y perfume, but it's sweet lavender, kind of creamy, slightly lactonic. It's like a beautiful bedtime scent, really gentle. This does remind me a little bit of that, but definitely with less lavender. The cacao in this and the softness of it is kind of reminding me of, what's it called? My Hedonist Iris. So that's the Victoria Minia perfume I got recently. That's a soft, beautiful, gentle iris scent that has cacao in it. This has a very similar cacao note. It's glorious, the cacao in this. And then it also gives me a slight vibe of, if we're talking about lavender perfumes, a little bit more like my lavender and tuberose from the Embrace range by Vera Wang. Now that is definitely more floral and less vanillic than this, but it's got that same lavender, it's got cocoa in it as well. So it has that same kind of vibe, and that one is quite similar to Maison Margiela's Coffee Break. And Coffee Break, I always think the coffee in that smells a bit more like cocoa. And the cocoa on my skin came out so strongly in this. That's why I think I fell in love with it a little bit. There was a little bit of lavender, which I love. There was like a fruity, syrupy lightness that made it fresh when I first sprayed it, especially, that I really enjoyed. And then the vanilla in this, I was trying to, again, put my finger on what this is making me think of. And it was giving me the same feeling I get from Lolita Land and Green Lover. So it's that same kind of lactonic, custardy, lovely, soft, creamy vanilla smell that I get in those two Lolita Lempicka perfumes. It definitely doesn't smell like Green Leather in other ways, and it's nowhere, obviously it doesn't smell like, it's not got the same spicy and fruity vibe that Lolita Land has, but the coziness of Lolita Land, this is so cozy. I just think it's very, very pretty. I was really surprised by how light it was, you know. It's a perfect fusspot perfume, to be honest. It lasted ages, as Burberry perfumes often do. And to be honest, I think, yeah, the vanilla in this one is quite similar, but more complex than the vanilla in Burberry Brit, the original EDP. I'm just really surprised by how nice this perfume is. Is it worth like 70 quid for 30 mil? Hell no. Hell no, it is not worth that much. Honestly, like, it's not worth that much, but it is beautiful. And if I could ever get like a tiny little one of this for like a really good price, I would happily wear this. I think it's very, very pretty. I'm just going to have a look at some other things it's compared. Okay, I'm sure some people get loads of lavender with this, but I'm definitely not the only person who said this is actually not that strong in the lavender. I think it just balances out how sweet it would be if it didn't have ginger and lavender, you know, because there is so much vanilla in it. It's just, it's like fluffy. It's fluffy, a fluffy vanilla. Okay, let's see. What is it saying here? Okay, so Mongalon at the top. Again, I mean, yeah, definitely same vibes, but I don't think it literally smells like Mongalon, but it definitely has similar vibes. I don't know that Maison Lancôme one, so I can't comment on that. I don't think it smells anything like Twilight. So Twilight from Lush is very, very strong in the lavender. It's a very natural lavender, and that has a sweetness that comes from tonka bean. So I don't think it has the same freshness as Goddess. It doesn't have the same vanilla as Goddess, and there's definitely nowhere near as much lavender in Goddess as Twilight. I love Twilight, but I do find that one hard to wear because it is actually so lavendery. I haven't managed to smell the new Kayali wedding ones yet because they're an exclusive at Harrods, so I haven't got them at Selfridges yet. I assume they'll turn up at some point. Okay. Burberry Brit Eau de Toilette? No, it doesn't smell like that. It definitely doesn't smell like that. Because the Eau de Toilette is way sharper, really full of lime. But it's definitely got some elements of the EDP Burberry Brit, but I think it's mainly, there is a kind of creamy vanilla in that. And then that's that juicy pear and lime. So there's like a fruit juice vibe. And there definitely is a fruit juice vibe running through Goddess. I'm sure of it. They only list ginger, but I'm sure it's like, I don't know, ginger and pear or something like that. I don't think it's apple. I need to say, I really want a carded sample of it. And I think it's really nice. Yeah, I'm amazed. I did not think I would like it. And when she first sprayed it, I was like, it's all right. I'll try it on my skin. And I walked out and I kept sniffing it and I was like, yeah, I mean, this is actually quite nice. Maybe too vanillic for me, I don't know. And then just the whole way home, every time I got a whiff of it, I was like, oh, it just envelops you in this beautiful, soft, creamy bubble. Yeah, I've been talking about this for ages, but if you like things like, so what's it called? Yeah, so that one I got quite recently, the Jeanne Arthès macaron almond, you know, that kind of fluffy, almost heliotropy, that kind of fluffiness that you get with some of those perfumes, where it's just something so cozy, you know. It's that kind of vibe. It's super pretty, but it's way expensive. I mean, and for Burberry, it's really expensive. So I don't know why it's so pricey, but I think the vanilla caviar is quite an interesting thing, obviously. But yeah, it's mega expensive. It's not too full of that disgusting tar smell that seems to be in all modern perfumes. Yeah, I think it's just beautiful. So I would say I don't recommend it for the price, but I think if you can get like a sample, or if you can get like, if you just see it for like a really good price, hopefully, because it's so expensive, at some point they are going to have to start selling it for less. I mean, like I said, I see some of the Libres for super cheap now, and I'm always amazed. I'm like, God damn, that's like, whoa. They'll start to turn up on Latino, because how many people are going to spend £168 on a Burberry perfume that is mainly vanilla? Like, it's beautiful, but it's not so special. Anyway, I've been going on for ages, but I didn't really want to do like a whole specific video for Goddess, because I feel like the market is slightly saturated. So I figured just my loyal subscribers might like to know my opinion on it, though, because, you know, there's not really much point in me doing a special video to be like, well, I haven't actually got a sample of this, but I sprayed it on my arm and now I'm going to tell everyone to go and buy it or not buy it. You know, that's not really my vibe. Oh yes, before I forget, I've had a few people ask me about my declutters and whether I sell my perfumes. So I have put a link to my, and I can only post within the UK. I can only legally post perfumes within the UK. So I've listed under my about section in my YouTube page. I've got my eBay seller link in there. So if you want to check out the stuff that I'm selling from my declutters, a lot of it's already gone, and there might be some stuff in there that you haven't seen yet that I'm decluttering, because like sometimes it just goes well in a bundle or whatever, and I'm just gonna have to get rid. So yeah, if you're interested, if you live in the UK and you're interested in buying some of the perfumes that I'm getting rid of, I like to try and do bundles to make things like a bit more bargainous, so you can get like 4 perfumes for less than the price of one of them normally. So that is my aim with those. I hope everyone had a nice week. Tell me what you've been wearing. Tell me if you smelt Goddess. I'd really like to know. And if you think it smells like something that I haven't already mentioned, please let me know, because I feel like I have worn something that smells so much like Goddess before, like literally worn it, but I don't know if it's something I actually have in my collection. So yeah, it's just been driving me mad. I can't think what it was. I was sniffing it all Thursday night on my arm and on the card and being like, what the hell is that? Anyway, guys, thank you for watching as always. You're all fabulous and wonderful. I hope my video hasn't gone too dark again, but that's because it's so dark outside. I will speak to you guys soon.